So first of all, starting from the beginning of your career, what was the feeling like of first becoming professional when you signed for Bridgend in 1995?
Yeah, it was a dream come true, actually. I was started off playing professional rugby in '95, albeit it wasn't officially, documented, shall we say. But yeah, it was a dream come true. I was playing for my local club. It was an opportunity. I went through the system of the Welsh youth, Welsh under 21s, and different things, and then I found myself in Swansea University doing a degree, and I was in the right place at the right time. The game went pro, and 16 years later, I've built up a career for myself.
And so flash forward to 2001, and you were included and played on the tour for the British and Irish Lions. That's got to be like one of the proudest moments of your career.
Yeah, look, I think the first year of my professional career, I was selected to play for Wales in Australia. I went on a tour, 6, 8, or 7 week tour to Australia, and had recognition on that trip, and it was something I'd always wanted to do, is play for Wales. And then the following year, then it was the British and Irish Lions toured South Africa, and I had an invitation, not an invitation, I had a contract sent to me, so I was on the standby list to go in there, and that was a little bit of a wake-up call. I had some sort of potential, I suppose. So it was a 4-year process. It took time, a lot of hard work behind the scenes, which people don't see, and to get recognised, then to go on a very prestigious sort of a tour to Australia representing the four home nations was exceptional, and another accolade which I'm delighted to be part of. But it takes hard work, it takes a lot of dedication, and I was fortunate that I honed in on my skills, and the timing was impeccable.
So what would you say was like the most memorable game of your career in the best?
Uh, Memorable games is quite difficult, really, when you've had 16 years of playing. I think games which stand out for me is getting, obviously, my first cap for Wales, first cap for the British and Irish Lions, scoring in the Gabba in 2001. But any time I took the field, really, to represent my country was something special. I went through a bout of injuries in, I think it was 2002, which could have been career threatening, and to bounce back and get told I wasn't going to probably ever play professional sport again, and I proved that wrong, and come back, and you look back, and I got selected for Wales again in the Principality Stadium to represent Wales. So look, there's lots and lots of games which probably would stand out, but them special moments which live on, and you can't encapsulate that sort of atmosphere or the energy that you get from being picked. So it's difficult to pinpoint one particular game.
So moving on to a darker moment for you. So in 2002, you were sent home from Welsh national team camp. So how did you cope with that at the time? And
Well, the irony is that the Vale, which we are now standing in, we used to call it the Jail of Glamorgan, and it was in that car park. I see a stone throw away where I was sent home. That was for breaking curfew, which was a bit unfortunate. I was harshly treated, but several other players went home. It was nothing untoward. It was more, I went home to my house, which is 20 minutes down the road, and they didn't want us to leave camp. This was on a Tuesday, and unfortunately, I was the one. I was a bit of a scapegoat, and it took a massive effect. It affected me mentally, physically, and looking back, hindsight, and age, you mature a little bit, and you think, you probably should have done things slightly different, and it's wonderful having hindsight, but it was disappointing, massively disappointing. It probably cost me another 15 or 20 caps, if I'm totally honest, which is a big thing. And yeah, I rue that decision, but it is what it is.
so moving on to 2009, and you suffered an injury to your neck that ultimately ended your playing career. Must have been tough. So how did that sudden change to your life affect you and the relationships around?
Yeah, it was massive, really, because at that part of my career, I went through engineering. I was an apprentice in Sony's. I left school at 16, then went on to Swansea University to do electrical electronic engineering, and the game turned pro. I was on a crest of a wave. I invested a lot of time in myself to do nutrition. I'm a nutritionist and a strength and conditioning coach as well. And my career path was going to be towards strength and conditioning. And unfortunately, in one game in 2009, I fractured my neck, which ultimately led to the termination of my contract. I continued to play for another couple of years post that, where I was told I probably wouldn't play again. And unfortunately, Father Time caught up with me. I still had a couple of years left to run, but they didn't think so. And unfortunately, I was let go, and it had a massive impact on my life, really. And to finish playing professional sport, a job, to retire at the age of 33, 34 years of age is hard to deal with. Where do you go? What do you do? And the support wasn't there, and found myself in limbo.
So that brings me on to this. Like, were there any moments post retirement that you felt like you were losing control of like what to do really?
Yeah, to this day, I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm 50 years of age now, and I still look and think, well, how did I end up in this particular position? But you just got to have trust and believe things are going to work out for the better. But yeah, look, it's been a lot of dark moments along the way, and a lot of soul searching, trying to find myself. There's been lots of things happen throughout my, the time since I finished, and yeah, it's been tough. It's hard, and like I say, is people are going to go through different emotions throughout their life and struggle with mental health challenges. I certainly did and do, and I think it's about reaching out to a good support mechanism, having some good people around you, having a little bit more clarity, and enjoying the simple things in life. But yeah, for me, I feel a bit lost, a bit vulnerable, shall I say? But I share that vulnerability to try and help other people cope with their demons and sort of challenges they have.
So we touched on it a bit then. So like you talked about you didn't get much support. Do you think it could have been better than the support you were given after retirement?
Oh, absolutely. I think I wasn't the only one. But you take things personally, and unfortunately, there was no support. There still isn't any support. It's just I've learned to mature and surround myself with better people. And the challenges that lie ahead for some professional rugby players are going to be, it's like deja vu. So look, I can only offer my services and help and advice to people if they need it. But yeah, there was no support. There was no sort of career pathway. There was no help when an education from a financial standpoint or a personal standpoint. And that's a really big flaw when you look at the rugby sort of fraternity. And especially in Wales, it wasn't there. It may have changed a little bit now. I think it's more of an administrative sort of tick box, and I'll stand by that. And I think more should be done.
So what would you say you like miss most about the day-to-day life of being a professional rugby?
Having a structure. I think it's very similar to the military. I've got a lot of friends, Marines and ex-military personnel, and it's having that identity, it's having that structure in place. You get up in the morning, you know exactly where you're going to go. You go out to train on the field or whatever. Then you go in, you've got your video analysis, you're doing your stretching, your recovery, prehab, rehabilitation sort of stuff, and then you find yourself then coming into Civvy Street, the real world, so to speak, and you find yourself, well, where do I go? What do I do? I haven't got the structure. You don't know what, as ridiculous as it may sound, you don't know what you're going to put on in the morning, really, because you're told literally what you're wearing, where you're going, what you're doing, what meeting, what food you're eating, all that sort of stuff. So you become a little bit institutionalized by the game. And when you come back into Civvy Street, it's eye-opening.
Before this one, can I just hold that?
Is that okay?
Can you point behind me? So
Yeah.
last year you published a book called Offloading and Tackling My Truth. So what like inspired you to write this book? What were your aims?
Yeah, Offloading is my book. It was released just before Christmas. It was in the offing for 7 or 8 years, and I didn't really think anybody would be interested in my story, if I'm honest. A little bit of imposter syndrome going on, I guess, as well. And for me, what it was my journey, my career path, the challenges I faced, the highs and lows of professional sports. And what I wanted to try and do is I work in Howden Insurance as an insurance broker, and I wanted to try and share the challenges, the highs and lows that everybody will encounter throughout their life. It doesn't, you don't have to be a professional sports person. Everybody will have some sort of challenges, anxiety, depression, financial worries, whatever it is. And I'm just here to say that anybody's vulnerable, everybody's susceptible to it. And the objective for me was to share some of my challenges. And hopefully it resonates with some people, and it stops people going down to a really dark and terrible level in their lives.
So also in recent years, you've been doing like a lot of good work for charity, including doing 31 marathons in 31 days. How did you find that? And like, I bet it was tough, but how did you find it?
Yeah, you've done your homework, haven't you? Yeah, it was hard, but it was during the COVID time actually, and for me, it was a matter of having a focus, having a purpose. So I related back to that when I was playing professional sport. You have a purpose, you have a focus to get up in the morning. I was unemployed at the time. It was COVID. It was a horrendous time. And I thought, right, I got to show my own sort of resilience and inner strength. And I'm a patron for a charity called 10 of Us Cancer Care, which does a lot of research into finding cures for cancer. And I thought, well, I'll do it for a charity. The idea was born from just talking to people. What are you going to do throughout this period of the unknown, I suppose? And I'd done it for a children's hospital as well, Noah's Ark, which deals with poorly children. And I thought, well, that resonates, and I wanted to give back to people and show that anything's possible. So I decided, well, I'll do a marathon a day for 31 days in January, because they got a blue January. Right, I'll do it. It's not going to get much harder than being in January, and if you can come through that, then you show a bit of grit. And it was hard. It was how I done it. I was quite pragmatic in the way that I did it. I done some rowing, cycling, and running. I didn't just run because my joints probably wouldn't allow me to. I got arthritis in my knees and ankles. So what I did was a minimum of 10 miles running, and then the rest was made up through cycling and rowing. So I did that for 31 days, and come through on the other end and made, I think it was something like £14,500 for charity. But it was just me against me, me against me. There was no one there, which is hard really when you come to finish it and you think, well, I've done that now. What next? And that's the problem.
So finally, how are you doing now in terms
Well, physically, I'm standing here. Mentally, it's day-to-day challenges, isn't it? I think everybody has them, and it's, I'm just going to my own little shell, and I got lots of other little health issues. But life is life. You just carry on. I don't think anybody's going to come and save me, unfortunately, and you just got to take them little steps in order to move forward and just keep chugging away, yeah, life has challenges, but I got two wonderful sons, blessed with them, and my parents are still around, and so you just got to look at the finer things and just take it day by day.